Mr Speaker, I support this bill.
Yeah. I call the honourable member Katrina Shanks.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's my pleasure to take a call on this bill tonight. Everybody in this House will agree spending time with your family is important. I'm a mother of three, a working mother, and every single moment I spend with my every mother's a working mother, so I absolutely are. But I absolutely believe that every moment that we spend with our children is valuable, especially when you can't be in the home with them. And we are lucky we live in a country which puts a value on children and supports their parents. I believe that families are the cornerstone of our society, and we need to strengthen them as much as we possibly can. But this bill, this Labor bill, puts a cost to the taxpayer of $150 million a year. And with Labor's own costings, that's $500 million of taxpayers' money over the next 4 years. Mr Speaker, where is this money going to come from? Well, I can tell you exactly where it's going to come from. It's going to come from overseas lenders. We're going to have to go into the international marketplace, borrow money, pay back interest, and this is money we cannot afford to borrow. The Labour Party wants to drive New Zealand further into debt, Mr Speaker. They want the country to borrow more, they want the country to spend more, and they're doing it thinking it's just going to be okay. Well, actually, we can't. The state running up debt does not help families. Borrowing more does not help families. What helps families is smart policies and sound economic leadership. And this is what this government is delivering for the people of New Zealand and New Zealand families. We need to get back into surpluses. We need to get back into the black. And we're going to pay for the policies the right way, with money in the bank. And under this government, we're going to spend the taxpayers' money wisely and support families with holistic family policy approaches. So what are we doing for family policy, you might ask? Not that you are asking, but what would you do for family policy? This is what we're doing. We've got free doctor visits for most under 6-year-olds. We've got higher working for family payments. We're spending, listen to this, Sue Moroney, we're spending 34% more on early childhood education that was ever spent under the Labor government. We're fully funding Plunket Line 24/7, which that Labor government cut. We're boosting maternity services by $50 million for new parents and vulnerable parents so they can go and get more access to the services that they need to support their families. We've got the lowest inflation rate since 1999. And how does that help families, Labor would ask? Well, it's pretty obvious. Lowering the cost of living for New Zealand families, which is absolutely fundamental for them to survive in these tough times. So what are we going to do in the future, you might ask, for families, instead of this $150 million one-off policy? Well, what we're going to do is we're targeting 98% of our under-5s to attend early childhood education over the next 5 years. What a fantastic start for our families. We're going to improve maternity service to get the access better for those families. What a great start for our families. And we're going to increase infant immunisations 95% for 8 months old to have them by 2017. What a great initiatives for families. There is a right time and a wrong time to implement policy, and this is not the right time to extend parental leave. I just want to raise one issue about parental leave, which hasn't been talked about in this debate, and that is about the signals and the trends that we're hearing back coming from the sector, from midwives in the sector, from health professionals in the sector about what's happening. And the trend we're hearing is that parents now believe, we're seeing a trend that they're only taking those 14 weeks which the government is paying for. Previously, families used to save, they used to plan. to take the leave that they would like to take with their families. So when we have policies like this, we have to be very careful that ensuring that we don't send messaging that it is only 14 weeks is absolutely not. Mr Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
In reply, I call the Honourable Member Sue